Welcome back to 365 Unlimited. We are back with another interview, tapping in here. This is our first time talking to an Oklahoma Sooner here. We're excited to sit down, learn about his story. But before we do all that, check out our three sponsors, Driftless Quality Wear, Bocker Auto Group, and Not Vintage. That is KNOT Vintage. You will find them on Instagram, Twitter. Check out the website as well. You can get some free, not free, but you can get some gear on there. We got the graphic tees. Use the code 365U for 10% off store wide. And we very much appreciate them over at Not Vintage. They're doing great things. Bunch of NFL players wearing the gear. We saw Harrison Phillips with the Minnesota Vikings show love to Damar Hamlin this past weekend, which was very special to see. So yeah, tap in with Not Vintage. We greatly appreciate them. All right, Gannon, let's rock with this one.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of carried it into there. I mean, shout out to Damar Hamlin, his family, everybody. Thoughts and prayers this last week. Scary moment, but glad to see he was released from the hospital. Just kind of wanted to throw that in there, before we start recording. But man, Robert, shout out to you, man, for joining us. It's a big one. I know we're hyped for this. But kind of talk to everybody who Robert Spears-Jennings is, kind of on and off the field, just real quick to get into it, and then we'll dive into some deeper shit or crap. Sorry.
Well, my name is Robert Spears-Jennings. The guys call me RJ. I'm a military kid, so I lived all over the country. Um, this is actually my first year really playing safety. In high school, I played receiver, so I'm getting used to everything and how to move at safety and learn the defense, really.
No, for sure. And I would say like growing up in high school and playing ball, kind of maturing as a player, how do you think playing wide receiver has prepared you for the moment to translate to defense?
Probably helping me with my ball tracking skills, so when the ball's in the air, it's easy to find it. Knowing the route tree. So like I can know what a receiver's about to run just off his release. It helps me out a lot because most safeties they play safety their whole life, so they really don't know the route tree as well as I do, and ball tracking skills isn't as well as mine.
Kind of being a two-way guy on both sides of the ball in high school and stuff, and then also a two-sport guy with track. I think you ran what, the 100 and 200, if I'm correct or not. But just talk about that playing into each other. The strengths and weaknesses from both of them. That you kind of can combine and just help you overall to be the football player you are now.
Just being a two-sport athlete helps a lot because you're staying conditioned year round because you're always doing something, and then track always helps you with your speed and explosiveness. And then football, you just use your track speed for football, so that helps a lot. And then what was your other question?
No, that was just kind of like how do the two work together? Because we've kind of asked that a lot. We emphasize multi-sport athletes on this show with all of our younger guys. The importance of it, because you can learn so much from different things and kind of put it all together. So that's kind of all of it was. Touch on it a little bit more if you want. If not, we can move on.
Yeah, and in track, it just helps you with your mechanics because in football, you kind of lose your mechanics with the ball and then just not thinking about it. So track will help you with your mechanics of running.
I like that. That's a good answer there. So let's take this back to high school before you decide to commit, before you decide on a school for college. Uh, where did you go to high school, and what was the high school atmosphere like for you?
So I went to two high schools. I went to Mansfield, Lake Ridge my freshman year, and then my mom got stationed in Oklahoma. So I moved to Broken Arrow, Oklahoma, Broken Arrow High School. So it wasn't that hard because I moved so much in my life. Like the transition was kind of easy, and it wasn't that bad.
Kind of shifting there. So you said Broken Arrow. Is that right outside Tulsa?
Yeah,
That right? Yeah.
it's like 5 minutes away.
Was that kind of because I know you had offers, you had anybody really wanted to pick from coming out of high school and all that. Was that kind of playing in that move to Broken Arrow being in the state? Did that have any importance? You think becoming a Sooner or not?
Not really. Actually, moving to Oklahoma and just seeing everybody Oklahoma fans, I didn't even think I was going to Oklahoma really. So I kind of surprised myself.
So where'd you think you were going?
So Oklahoma was my only defensive offer, and I still wanted to play receiver. So
Mm.
I thought I was going to Ole Miss or probably Arkansas.
Okay, okay. So you said growing up in a military family. What is your advice to kids that are growing up in a military family? How to handle it and how to kind of uh, ensure that you still have that household around where you feel like you're part of a family atmosphere and you're growing up. What is the advice to those kids that are out there and they feel like they're struggling in any capacity?
I just say embrace it because like it helps you with life traits. So like me, like being a military kid, you're way more adaptable than a kid that stayed in the same house for his whole life. The tradition of college is so much easier because you've moved so many times. So I really just say embrace it because it'll help you out in the long run.
I
That's a
like
good
that.
answer.
It is really good.
So it's been about a year now. You've been on campus, kind of with OU being an early enrollee and stuff last year. I know you weren't specifically there when Lincoln Riley was a coach and all that, but kind of talk about that shift from when a year ago when he took the USC job, and then Coach Venables came in being a defensive guy. That transition as you were starting your college career.
So I actually committed to the Lincoln Riley staff in July
Okay.
4th. So I've been committed to them since July 4th. The way I found out he left USC actually was my high school running back coach. He called me while I was taking a nap on the way back to Oklahoma, and he was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah." Like, what do you mean? As soon as he said that, like my phone just started blowing up, and I had to turn my phone off. And then Coach Stoops came to my house the next day, and he told me like reassured that everything's gonna be fine. My scholarship's still valid, and like don't worry, like coaches are coming to OU. OU's not looking for coaches, so we'll be fine. And then Venables came to my house later, and then he just reassured me like we're gonna be fine. Like I know what Venables did at Clemson
Yeah.
and did at Oklahoma in the 2000s, so I know that Oklahoma's going to turn this thing around. We're gonna be at the top real soon.
I like that. I like that. I did see you post on your story earlier today where you said where it was the rankings and you said we're gonna be back soon. So let's talk on that a little bit. I know it was a coaching shift this year, so obviously a lot of moving parts trying to get everything figured out, but you're gonna be back on top soon. So what's it gonna take to get there?
Well, Coach Schmidt, he already told us he's going back to his 2000 ways, so we're gonna get way bigger, way stronger, way faster. And then everybody, we're locking into the details right now. Like Venables' playbook is hard, so like the reason why we lost some of the games was really because of bust. So I think once we like lock in and tune into the little details that he preaches, then we'll be perfectly fine.
I like that.
Um, I thought it was an interesting thing when you said, the recruiting process, being on the offensive and defensive side, but ultimately going to Oklahoma with Coach Venables being the defensive guy, like you said, what he's done at Clemson, it was insane defenses he's had there that could compete with those SEC teams in those big games over the last decade. But just kind of talk about that and the relationship to that, kind of come about. It was just like, it has to be a little reassuring as now you're committing, to this one side of the ball.
So especially when we got Venables, I know he's a defensive minded coach, and I know he's gonna be on the defense. He's gonna be more hands on with the defense. That kind of made me feel a little bit better because I know what I'm working with. I know how passionate he is about football, and like especially when he came to my house, like he was just so energetic, and he said he's never lied to me. He's always kept it 100 with me since recruiting till now. So I really have love for that guy. And then really the whole staff is like a relational program, not transactional. So I really love that for you.
I like that. I think that's crucial, especially when you say it's not transactional like that. And I think that is
Being transparent, that's
it
all it
is.
is. It's huge.
It is. And being transparent, I think, is just showing that you're real, who you really are as a coach, who you are as a human being in general. I think it goes a long way with players. So you speaking volumes on your coach like that, that's special. But let's take it back again. I want to ask you. So this could be high school, this could be college. What kind of teammate are you to your brothers? What kind of person are you as an athlete for that's under a coach? What kind of guy are you?
You can ask any of the guys. I feel like I'm very coachable. I know my role. So like this year I really didn't play that much, but I was like a second eyes for the starter. Like if he missed something and he comes to the sideline, I'll probably tell him what he did wrong or what he needed to work on when he was out there. So I feel like I'm just like a role player. Like right as of right now, I'm a role player, but I want to make my way up to that star player. But I just know my role. Very coachable, very adaptable, can learn on the spot, and just the willing to learn. So like we had a player last year, Justin Burrows. He'll text, "Hey, film room, come watch film with me," and I'll be there in like 5 minutes. Like just the willingness to learn and understand this position, especially because I'm new to it. I think that's like what type of teammate I am.
Man, that's huge because you understand it's a process that you're going to take this right now. It's not permanent. It's going to, keep building for yourself and all that. But I gotta go back again, man. I saw your numbers 10 safety in the country from ESPN. Almost top 100 guy. Like that's big time for our podcast and something too. So I wanted to shout you out on that. that's just a different type of lifestyle, man. So that's shout out to you and your athleticism and your work ethic and all that. That's just dope. I want you to speak on that a little bit. It's just kind of a cool moment and just speak on it.
So I didn't play safety. I didn't move to safety until probably like my fifth game of my senior year. And my first game, I had 2 picks, and the game saving PBU and the game stealing pick and a touchdown. So that's when 24/7 came, and the rest of the season I had a great season. And then that's when Lincoln Riley left. Under Armour invited me to be the fan vote, and all the Sooner fans got me into the All American game.
That's awesome.
And then I was one of the top safeties in the All American game, so I got a major boost on my ranking once the final rankings came out.
That's awesome. That I mean, you can't speak on it enough. Just how cool that is to be a part of that. I'm sure for you as an athlete and just as a person, like you sitting there, like wow, like I can do this, man. Like just having that mentality, I think is special. But like back in high school, when you're going up the ranks and you're playing high school ball, how do you think you were prepared for the moment where you're at now? I know it could be just a certain coach and a teammate that kind of helped you pave the way, or even just your mentality in its own. How do you feel like you're prepared for this Division I moment and even possibly the next level?
So I have 3 people. My best friend, Javion Franklin. COVID year 2020, we worked out 3 times a day, every day in the summer. So that prepared me for my junior year of high school. And then once I started getting offers and I committed, my old receiver coach, Tracy Moore, he played at Oklahoma State. And my old teammate, Marion Horn, he goes to Texas Tech. We worked out like Coach Tracy treated us like he was a college coach, like how he was treated in college. So my mindset was already prepared. And then he just like got me and he just tweaked the little things about me that I needed to fix before I got to college that he knew that college coaches didn't play. So really, Coach Tracy, Javion Franklin, and Marion Horn, those 3 guys really like steered me the right way.
You're kind of just talking about the continuity with some of the staff and just everything at OU, and almost felt like you're getting a sense of home when you were just talking about the vibes of that. Kind of jump back to maybe a guy who's an 8th grader, maybe in his freshman year, just finished up his freshman year of high school ball. What's some advice for them through the recruiting, through the life thing? It's just not the football and the recruiting; it's everything coming together in that process. What's just some simple advice you would have for those young athletes?
Grades.
Yes, yes.
I remember my freshman year. I had just transferred to Broken Arrow. I didn't care at the end, like second semester. I didn't like care because we only had like 3 weeks of school, so I didn't do any work, and so my GPA just like dropped. So my sophomore year, Oregon and I think Baylor came to see me and Marion, and they offered Marion but not me because my grades. So I had to work like super hard to get my GPA back up. And then also don't doubt yourself. Don't say you're not that type of person because myself, I didn't get offered until the end of my junior year, and I was kind of down on myself, saying like, I think I wasn't good enough. But if you just don't doubt yourself and put your head down and work, everything will be fine. Like a coach told me, he said, don't just try to be the best person on your team, and then the college coaches will come looking for you.
I like that. I like that. I think it's special as well to realize like Gannon, I think that was the first time we've ever heard anyone say grades immediately. And I think that is something
I mean,
that
we've tried to vocalize it, but no, yeah, definitely to other people, it's awesome to hear that.
no, it's crucial. And I mean, kids, like if you're tuning into this episode when you hear him say that, understand that yes, you can be the best athlete on your team, you can be the best athlete in your high school, but at the end of the day, if you don't have the grades, some of these coaches are just going to walk right away from you. So you stressing that's special, and I'm glad you
I,
mentioned that. Go
I
ahead,
just
Gannon.
think, yeah, I just think the other thing it just builds the character and your foundation for your time management, just your life skills. That's the biggest thing I try and preach to the young guys. Like my coach here, 4 years college ball, we've done a lot of crazy stuff. Like I know the workouts down at OU and all that's nuts, but like it's just all bigger picture. So I think that's what it is, and it's hard for young guys to keep that in mind. It really is. But if they can get it a little bit right now, it's huge.
I'm glad that you mentioned that, Gannon. You talk about workouts and stuff. So let's a question I want to ask you now is what is a day to day like as an Oklahoma Sooner? When you wake up in the morning, what is your day slash night slash every single waking second like for you as a Division I athlete? Just run us through the whole day.
In season, so wake up probably 8:30, go eat breakfast, then go to class at 9, get out of class at 10:30, go straight to tutoring, do probably on Mondays. I do all my work on Mondays, so I have to do it for the rest of the week. So then do that, go home, take a nap, or just chill, play the game until like 12:30. Go to the facility. I lift at 1:40. We have a team meeting at 2:30, and then after team meeting, we have positional meetings from probably 3 to 4:15. Then we practice until probably 7 o'clock, and then go back to the locker room, take a shower, eat dinner upstairs with the guys, and probably won't get home till probably 8:30, 9 o'clock p.m.
Mm. Yeah, that's insane. I want to hear some. I know the times and the workouts are crazy for fall camp when you first get back in the late summer, midsummer, whenever you guys report back. What's like a crazy story, like a team thing, personal thing? I know there's got to be some early mornings and all that, because that's got to be the hardest time of the year. Or is it more spring ball and winter conditioning? I'm not sure.
No, fall camp's probably
Well,
like the worst.
yeah.
The worst. So probably my worst time is we had a meeting at 6 a.m., woke up late. All the coaches and GAs were calling me saying, where was I? So I hurried up, brushed my teeth, and ran all the way to the facility. And then they had to sneak me through the back door. Sat down. We finished all through practice. Coach Smitty came up to me. He said, "What happened? Like, why were you late?" I told him what happened. He was like, "You usually never late, so don't start now." I had to do 600 yards of up downs for being late.
Oof. Oof.
And then I had to hit the Stairmaster for 45 minutes after that.
Oh my God.
So that was probably the worst.
You probably weren't late after that.
Oh, no. After that, I put an alarm on my iPad and my phone at the same time and put my iPad across the room so I have to get up.
I don't blame you there. I mean, that's got to be. I mean, just running that through my mind, I understand it, like how much work that is that you have to do once they know you're late and you come into practice and they tell you to do 45 minutes on the Stairmaster, 600 yards worth of up downs. Like that sounds like hell. It literally sounds terrible. So
That's punishment.
it
Punishment.
is, but that's part of the grind, and that's what makes these athletes who they are on and off the field. It's discipline, really, and it does not only teach you to be a great athlete, it'll teach you to be a great human being down the road, especially in the workforce or just as a friend or a family member. But what is some advice you would give to a kid that's I know Gannon kind of touched on it a little bit, but right now a kid that's in 8th grade and he really wants to be a Division I athlete. What are you going to speak on to that kid and kind of help promote him to get to where he wants to be?
Probably don't worry about everybody else's accolades. Like, focus on yourself. Like, me and my mom, we have a thing it's called stick to the script. Like, God already written my script out for me, so I just got to follow it. So really just be patient and your time's coming. As long as you do what you have to do, the coaches will do what they have to do too. Like, their job is to find the best people in the country. And if you're one of those, they're going to find you.
No, that's literally what it is right there. But being two sides on the ball growing up and all that, who were some role models? I know you had some guys probably that you looked up to as a little kid, running around, scoring some touchdowns in the yard, all that. Kind of, who were some guys you were looking up to?
So I was a Baylor fan growing up. So really like Coleman, Denzel Mims,
Yeah.
like all them type of guys, them type of receivers were my god. Like in high school, I didn't watch DBs until I committed to OU. So like I really watched like Julio Jones, like bigger type of receivers, because that's how I wanted to play. Like, and so that was probably the role models I had growing up.
Okay, I feel like the most fascinating part about this interview so far is just understanding like how late you came into the role of playing the defensive side. Like starting, you said what, it was 8 games in, or how many games in did you say? 5 games in, and then you took over the DB.
It's crazy.
It's insane to think about that you're able to just jump into that role. You become an Oklahoma Sooner, and then you're talking about throwing it back to the old days, watching receivers growing up, and that was the position you played. So how do you think? I mean, I know we touched on the fact that you said the route tree and understanding all that stuff kind of helped you become a successful DB, but mentally, how do you think you got there? I mean, 5 games into your senior season and you're becoming a DB with 2 interceptions, a pass breakup to win the game right away. Like, how do you feel like that has translated into being an Oklahoma Sooner? And I mean, the even crazier part is you played 8 games this year. So how does that happen mentally? How do you do that?
Just betting on yourself. Like the way I even got my OU offer is kind of like is a example of betting on myself also. So like just taking a chance and like having confidence. If you have confidence about yourself, you can do anything. So confidence is really key.
What's can we hear the story how you got this OU offer?
So Coach Grinch, my junior year, he wanted to see me play a little DB, but the old coach staff we had, they didn't like people playing both sides of the ball. So that staff had got fired, and then we had got new staff in. So I asked the new staff coach, like, can I play a little defense? So I did a little bit in spring team camp, and he liked what he saw, but they really wanted to keep me at receiver. And then Coach Grinch asked me once the dead period opened up, can we come to OU and do a one-on-one workout? So it was a Friday. I had woke up. We had push sleds at my high school. Me and my mom got straight in the road, drove to Norman, Oklahoma, and then we walked in the indoor facility, and I just see the whole defensive staff in there, and they were watching me work out. And Coach Grinch was like, "Are you ready to go?" And I was like, "Yes, sir." And so I started to work out. Coach Manning was there. He was like, "You're doing great. Just don't mess up now." And so I just kept doing what I was doing. They liked what they saw. And they kept trying to give me like water breaks. And I was like, no, I'm good. Like, let's keep going. And so I guess they liked that even more. And then they took me around the facility, and Coach Riley gave me the offer.
That's
That's
special.
awesome.
I love hearing fascinating stories like that. I mean, just as an athlete, but then my question for you now as a person is you mentioned you like to you play the game with some free time. So let's open this up a little bit, talk about what are some things you do off the field. Who are you as a person off the field, as a friend, as a boy? Well, who are you as a person?
So I hang with my best friend. He was just here like probably 30 minutes ago. So I hang out with him almost every day. Either I'm playing the game with my guys, or really I'm playing the game, eating or sleeping, or hanging with my friend. Like that's really it. I do. That's really all I
Okay.
do.
Just kind of, I got not a whole lot left, but this year was a little kind of a down year in Oklahoma standards. Just kind of, obviously, you said that's using for motivation, extra stuff, but that's just got to be even crazier intensity now with the workouts and all that stuff because now you got some more pissed off, besides, because you guys are always a 10-plus win team, you guys are usually in the New Year's Six
Mm-hmm.
Bowls, and like that's just the standard at OU now. But just kind of talk on that, like it's even got to be harder workouts, more intensity, just all that right now.
Right now, yeah, Coach Smitty already told us. He was like, last year I was just easing my way into the program, but this year it's gonna be totally different because we got to make people scared of us. So, and nobody was scared of us this year, and we take that to disrespect, and just the way like the college football like community was disrespecting us because we had an off year, and this is our first year really going negative. This is our first losing season since 1998, I think.
Yeah.
So like, we just know what we have to do next year, and we already have the game plan written out. So next year, Oklahoma, 2023 takeover.
I like that. I like that. I think
Cut
we
that up right here, right
yeah.
now. First week in January, baby.
Yes, sir. OU's gonna be back, but I think yeah. I mean, Gannon mentioned like I feel like I've learned everything I want to learn about you as an athlete, as a human being. What's your stories about? Uh, I'll open the floor to you if there's anything that you want to say, any shout outs you want to give to anybody, or just anything about your journey that you wanna let loose. Go ahead and speak on it.
Really, I just want to shout out my family, especially my mom and my dad. Like they've sacrificed so much for me, like taking me to these visits and taking me to these camps and stuff like that, and taking a chance on me. And like all the coaches that recruited me, thank y'all too, because they kind of boosted my confidence too. Because I thought my junior year, I thought I just didn't. I had like 800 yards, and I still thought that wasn't good enough. So I was just confused. So thank them. Thank my best friends for helping me stay focused and not letting me get into no trouble. Thank the man above, because like without him, I wouldn't be able to do this. And really just thank my teammates now and my coaching staff now that help me get better every day at practice.
I like that.
One little thing we always wrap it up with, because then I think Bryce can maybe get his closing thoughts here. We just, ask a little advice. How's your experience first time? Something we can improve on. How'd you like it? Just kind of talk about us and maybe some stuff we could work on going forward.
Actually, I liked everything I did. I like how y'all came with like questions, like interesting questions. So like that was pretty good. Really, it was just like I felt like we were just having a conversation. That's what I liked about it, really.
Hell yeah.
Appreciate that, man. Yeah, I just want to say, I mean, thank you for taking the time out of your day. I know you say you were with your best friend 30 minutes ago, so for you to be willing to hop on a podcast, chop it up, talk about ball, talk about your story. I think it's amazing because I know Gannon and I preach on this for what we're doing here with this. We want to inspire the youth. I mean, athletes within the NFL, even in college ball right now, there is a lot of wrongdoing going on within the sports world. So if we're able to give these athletes the opportunity to speak on who they are, for what they are, it kind of allows it to block the narrative for other people to assume on who they are and what they do and where they come from. So it's nice to be able to sit down and hear your story, inspire the youth. And man, I just want to say I appreciate you and best of luck this upcoming year. I know 8 games last year, man. You're just going to keep building on that. And I think anything is possible for you and the Sooners.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Oh yeah, same thing as Bryce said. I remember watching you in that West Virginia game with the 5 tackles. It was crappy weather. It was just a bad, the game and all that. But it was just cool because I remember seeing your name. I watch a lot of sports. I keep up with a lot of things. So it was just kind of a small world when Bryce reached out and I saw some of that. But just hearing your story, and the offers coming a little late and all that, that's just your betting on yourself, like you're saying now at OU. And I think that's a testament to you and your work ethic just from, this 30 minutes of chopping it up. We definitely learned that from you. So I just want to say best of luck and blessings moving forward. Stay healthy, man. Best of luck with workouts. We'll stay in touch on socials and keep, rooting for you, and best of luck, bro.
Thank you. Yes, sir. You too.
We appreciate you guys for tapping into this episode. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope it inspired you. Hope it gave you the chance to understand that you can be any athlete you want to be, any person you want to be. Don't stop chasing your dreams. We'll catch you guys next time.